subscribers. Maybe they're bots, maybe they're not, but whoever you are, thank you for joining, for subscribing.
Oh, I feel like I thought I was gonna have to burp there for a second.
Really?
Oh.
You haven't burped since you did that one video
Oh,
about chugging the diet root beer.
Yeah,
That's
on the channel still, I think.
that's on the channel, and I believe the Surge is on the channel still. The Stranger Things is on the channel still. Speaking of Surge, we gotta make the next version of that.
Yeah.
I've got I still got a bunch of old cans from 2000, and I got some of the more modern ones that are probably expired in like 2020. So it's the sequel no one asked for or gave a shit about, but
Yeah.
we'll give it to the world.
People have been asking for it for years.
Oh, have they?
I just kicked the cord on this camera. I've done that so many times.
Oh, we should get some sort of like tie down or something for it.
Yeah.
So
This is a really ghetto setup. I have it on a box. Nobody can see it right now, but just have it sitting on a box on a speaker.
Yeah.
But,
So
So anyway, we're just hanging out here tonight.
we're doing a session,
yeah.
more like a mini session. We're missing two of our hosts, co-hosts, whatever you want to call them, and we got some tight deadlines for tomorrow, so it's not going to go as late as normal. But hey, it's still a session.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday,
And it's a Wednesday.
September 4th.
We can always bring it back up, but okay, so here we are.
All right.
Tonight's nostalgic jump-off point. The bus stop. Waiting at the bus stop when you were a kid.
All right.
Remember all the crazy stuff that would happen?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
So
Definitely.
it popped in my head this morning. The garbage truck went by, and I remember there was a day we're all sitting down at the bus stop waiting for the school bus to come, and a garbage truck decides to go up the road, and someone dared someone else. It wasn't one of the group here, but it was two other kids at the bus stop. Probably people we grew up with. Dared one of them to take a rock and throw it into the back of the garbage truck. And I remember someone did it, and he grabbed the rock and just threw it. And there happened to be a guy hanging onto the back of the garbage truck riding,
God.
and he aimed for the back of the truck, and it just went like this, and then like a magnet just boom hit the guy in the back. And you don't remember this one?
I was there.
I don't know. I mean, we were always at the same
You know
bus
when you
stop.
said that did he have like a brown jacket?
Yes,
on?
like I remember like a brownish or a reddish jacket, and I remember.
Oh God, it's amazing that the stories you bring up memories that there's no way that I would have ever remembered that.
Yeah, and so
I kind of remember that a little bit.
yeah, do you remember? And then like as soon as it hit him, he immediately turned around, and I just all of a sudden he just yelled, I'd like to see you try that again, kid," or something along those lines. And
yeah,
because I mean he didn't know who threw it, and of course we're just like not saying anything because we're kids and we don't want to get in trouble. But yeah, I mean the guy, it wasn't.
Wow.
They weren't intentionally trying to throw it at that garbage can or that garbage man. They were trying to just throw it in the back of the truck to hear it probably bang around or something. But then yeah, hits him and he immediately turns around and I'd like to see you try and do that again, kid.
That like you are those like things that you bring up, like the way that you said that, like I'd like to see. Yeah, I remember that, like kind of.
Yeah.
But okay, so this was at the bus stop.
At the bus stop.
So in the morning.
In the
obviously?
morning, yes.
And wait, so I must have been really young. We weren't at the bus stop very much together.
That could be. I mean, this was when I was in junior high and you were still in elementary school. Well, no, because you're remembering it, so it must be.
But that's not the same time as the bus.
Yeah, yeah. So if you're remembering this, you had to have been there. It had to have been elementary school.
So
then.
okay, when you were in 6th grade,
You would have been in third.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So we would have had a few years.
Yeah, so we had a few years together at the bus stop.
But then after that, it wasn't no junior high, no high school because we were too
Too far
yeah,
apart.
too far apart.
Too
Okay.
far apart.
That's wild though. Yeah, I kind of remember that. Like, so he tried to throw it in the back, and then there was a guy back there, and everybody clearly saw the guy when they were throwing the rock. But yeah, what are the odds?
Yeah, they didn't aim for the guy, and I remember just watching the rock, just kind of going like this, and just like almost like the guy had a magnet or something for the rocks. It just kind of started curving.
Yeah,
and
and I
hit
remember
him.
it was like a brown jacket, like a smooth, almost like a UPS jacket, like kind of a dustier, dirtier brown.
I remember like a dusty, either red or brown jacket.
and it was like like a dusty or like suede type finish, not like a shiny. or
Right.
anything like that.
Yep.
And I remember it hitting it, and it like it hit kind of like in the center of it or so. So it kind of like you could see it kind of like crumple the jacket
Yep.
a little bit. Wild.
Wild.
That's crazy.
I don't know what like.
That's unbelievable. The memories that you can dig up like
The,
that.
yeah, and just I don't know. A garbage truck drove by today while I was working,
Okay.
and it made me think of that. And I was
That's
like,
awesome.
yeah. So
I'm so glad that you're able to hold on to those, and it's just crazy how you can reference something and then, oh yeah, that's it. So, and I can't remember anything else really going down after that.
no, because I think he just like
They just
I
kept
mean,
going.
they just kept going on there. I mean, what are they going to
Cutting
do?
his
I mean,
losses.
he didn't know who threw it, and obviously none of us are going to say who threw it, and he's probably just like, oh, yeah, a bunch of punk kids, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, and it likely, I mean, didn't really hurt him. I mean, thank God it didn't hit him in the head.
right,
That probably would have left a knot or something. You
Right.
know? But yeah, in the back, like that with his jacket on, like that size of a rock. Like it was probably like a landscaping rock type.
it was a
size.
little bigger than that. It was one, because that house wasn't built there yet, and there was just that field, so we had different types of rocks down there and whatnot, but.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember. I'm sure. I hope it didn't hurt the guy. I hope the guy just sloughed it off and moved on with his life. And
That's
if that ever happened to you, if you're a garbage man and you're watching, and that ever happened to you,
Yeah.
sorry about that. It wasn't me
You're
that
okay.
threw it. It was someone else at the bus stop. But just
Could you imagine? Yeah, he's watching.
he's watching. Like
He's got to be old now.
yeah, well yeah. I mean, probably 20. You got probably what 20 years on us, I would think.
Well, he was. Yeah, I mean, between 25 and 45.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, so now he's probably watching. That's it. I know.
Yeah.
All right, He's like
throw rocks at us.
he's gonna come track us down and throw rocks at us,
Yeah.
and it is like his life's mission will be complete. So. But and then do you remember the other one? I mean, I guess there was more than one, but remember the one where we'd be playing in the street and the bus driver got all mad about that, and like, if you're playing in the street tomorrow, I'm gonna fly you by, or we're gonna pass you by, and not stop. And a bunch of us decided to call that bluff, and so we made it a plan. Like, yeah, when the bus comes, we're all gonna jump in the street. And there was probably about, I'd say about 75% of the bus stop walked up to the next bus stop, like a block up, and because they didn't want to miss the bus. And I was thinking, one, I don't want to walk up there. Two, there's no way the bus is going to just leave us, drive right past us. And three, maybe if it does, maybe I won't have to go to school that day. All right, so. I don't believe you were involved with it, but me, my brother, my sister, the girl who lived next door to my parents,
Julie.
Aunt Julie.
I'm gonna give their names out.
All right,
Sorry.
and then,
if they're my neighbor, you're gonna get your names.
Yeah, and then Anita, either Anita or Cheryl Lynn or something like
Really?
that. I think it was Anita. Well, they all decided to play in the street, and the bus came, and the bus drove right past us. And I'm like, all right, I guess that just happened. And so,
and Ryan, he was behind some of that too, right?
I
He was
think Ryan walked up to the next stop.
Did he? Okay.
Well, yeah.
Because this must have maybe been before my time for there then, because I almost feel like I
Could
remember
be.
hearing about something like that. Or,
Okay, that
I mean,
very
it
well could be
kinda
before
rings
your
a
time.
bell.
Because I was in like fourth grade, I think, at the time.
Okay, because I remember like there were some occasions like to walk to other bus stops for some reason. I don't really remember why.
Yeah, well, I
So
remember that.
kind of vaguely remember something like that, but
Yeah, so they walked to the other bus stop, and but yeah, I think it was about 6 of us stayed behind because whatever, they're not gonna fly right past us. Sure enough, a bunch of us jumped in the street, and bus drove right past, and we walked back up to my parents' house and walked in. Oh, what are you guys doing
Oh,
here?
yeah.
Well, the bus drove past us, and I still remember.
it was still probably our fault, right?
Well, I don't know. I mean, this is the '80s. It wasn't
Yeah.
like playing in the street was a bad thing back then.
No, but missing the bus would be.
Well, but we didn't.
Back then, it was always the kid's fault, not like the school's fault or something.
I don't know.
So,
I remember. I mean, it didn't stop. What was I gonna
Okay.
do? And so anyway, like Anita's mom ended up taking all of us to school.
Huh.
Me, my brother, my sister, Julie, and Anita
Okay.
in that minivan they had.
I kind of feel like I definitely wasn't there though.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. That one was funny. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah, some good times that it's just good to have stories like that, to be able to like have lived in that age where that kind of stuff exists.
Right. Right.
I still see, I mean, out here there's kids at a bus stop, but it just doesn't seem the same,
Well, yeah. Who knows? I mean.
Yeah, it's not as like big of a group. So many kids are getting rides.
Right. I mean, this was a big group. And,
Yeah.
I mean, we'd sit there and we'd play tag and we'd do all sorts of games before the bus got there.
It
And
seemed like we had like a significant amount of time every morning too.
yeah,
Like,
it did feel
was
that
probably
way.
only like 5 minutes or less. But
Right, but it just, well, I mean, at that age, time goes a lot slower.
yeah, like
So-
when you get like 10 more minutes or 15 more
Yeah.
minutes to do something, that's like solid.
Or when you ask your parents, 5 minutes. Oh, like, hey, are you gonna be done with that off the phone? Are you gonna be done talking to whoever? Yeah, I'll be done in 5 minutes. Oh, that's like forever.
Yeah.
But now and then you might remember this. Remember too, like we would line our bags up.
Yeah, so like you'd have what order you'd get onto the bus.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So
sure.
when the bus came.
Or got to the bus stop first. Kinda.
Yep. So, but you got any stories about the bus
All
stop?
right, so
Maybe after I had moved on.
You had maybe you were gone. Yeah, maybe you were gone for this one. So, okay, do you remember the time when the lady got out of her car? And
That's right. I did think I wasn't
So
there
you-
for that.
Okay, you weren't.
But I know the story. That's the one story that popped in my head. Like
Okay.
I know Tom's will talk about
So
one.
this one I actually know pretty well when I don't
Yeah.
know the stories very well, because this was like kind of like a big.
Well, this was like
big
almost
ordeal.
traumatic,
Well, yeah, and it was.
In this day and age, get to the story.
It was bullshit. Too.
It was. It totally was.
So here's kind of like, and this is interesting. It happened at such an early age that it's like it's not the only kind of time some bullshit like this has happened to me, right? And then I'm made out to look like the bad guy. And, there's plenty of situations where maybe I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, but this one
one's
wasn't.
Certainly not.
This was not.
Okay, so
I know the story, but
I'm probably. I had to have been in like 4th grade, 5th grade, maybe 6th grade, but I don't think 6th grade because I think I remember maybe some kids being a little bit older than me. I guess then if there were, then Doug and Katie would have been there.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, it might have been 6th grade. So anyway, and I think I remember, but Tammy was the bus driver.
Okay.
Who was the best bus driver I ever had. And I'm going down to the bus stop like I normally do, and there's this little kid named Brandon.
Yep.
And he was maybe 2nd grade, 3rd grade.
I think 2nd grade.
4th maybe. So he was several years younger than me, about half my size, half my height from what I remember. Just a small little kid that like I didn't really know very much, pay a whole lot of attention to or anything like that I can really remember. And I get down there one day and he's bawling his eyes out, angrier than hell, like super pissed, and he's like just chasing after me, which I think about it now, like even if he got to me, what's he gonna be doing?
What's he gonna be
Yeah.
doing, right? You know?
So he's crying and he's upset because he thought that like I did something to him. Like somebody did something to him when his back was turned, and then I think when he turned around he saw me. But I had just gotten to the bus stop. Like I had nothing to do with it.
Right.
I had no idea what somebody had done with them, and you know people messed around with people down there sometimes.
Yeah, it happened.
You know,
It happened all the
but
time.
like I don't remember. I mean, I know wholeheartedly for sure that I certainly did not do anything to the kid. But you know, hey, he thought that, and so I was kind of running around, telling him, dude, no, I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. Knock it off. Stop it. Stop chasing me. And I'm not that great of like a runner and stuff, so I'm like kind of getting tired pretty quick here, and I'm like, okay, this is getting really annoying. So I start kind of like grabbing him and like swinging him to the ground. I want to say like we had some jackets on of some sort. Like most of the time at the school bus we did. We had some jackets. So I remember kind of grabbing his jacket and just kind of swinging him to the ground because it would buy me a little bit of time for him to get back up and keep chasing me. So I could like kind of just stand and I wouldn't have to keep running. And finally, it just got to the point where he just would not stop. And so I grabbed him and I pinned him down. And each time when I would throw him to the ground, I wasn't doing it hard, just enough to get him onto the ground on the grass where, again, he had his jacket on. He was all padded. And he would just get right back up anyway. Well, finally, I grabbed him and I pinned him to the ground. And I'm like, Brandon, I was like, I did not do anything to you. I don't know what your problem is, blah, blah. And I'm saying something like that. Next thing I know, I feel my hair being yanked. So it's like the back of my head being yanked up. And it kind of stands me up for when I remember. And I remember flailing my arms and like smacking this, turns out to be this random woman, some stranger, some Karen.
Yeah, Karen before Karen was a thing.
Yeah, Karen in her car pulls over and takes it upon herself to get out of the car because big bully, older, bigger Tom is beating up this little kid at the playground. But what was kind of messed up is that she, once she kind of let go of me because I was a little bigger and I was probably flailing around, is she grabbed him too and yanked him probably way worse than me, it looked like. 'Cause he was so small. He was a little kid. He was light. And I remember him just getting picked up by his hair by her and dragged and then it was like me and Brandon were united then at that point. We were both attacked by this crazy lady. Thankfully, the bus driver Tammy comes rolling up. The lady, we get on the bus. I think I'm crying at this point. I have my hair falling out of my head.
Yeah,
I remember loose hair. So yeah, were you there?
No, but I remember the story. You telling me
yeah,
about
you're
that.
so good at remembering stories even. So, my hair is falling out, and I was telling Tammy this. Tammy gets super pissed, and she has a daughter that I went to school with, my age and everything, and yeah, she got super pissed right away. You do not have the right to touch these kids, she said, which it's like, yeah, like if I would have thought back, like
who
if
are
I
you,
could
lady?
go back in time, like I would have, like, and remember, I'm a child. I would have like punched that lady in her face. Like, granted, I was fourth grade or fifth grade,
Yeah.
so I can fight a woman at that point. But I mean, my goodness, this lady to do this, and then Tammy to even like allow her to get even that close to the bus door and stuff. It was just a different age back then. Nowadays,
right.
it would have been like, they would have closed that bus. That bus would have gotten out of there, getting away from that situation, from this.
Cops would have been called.
Cops would have been called immediately. I don't.
It'd be on camera.
I don't believe. Yeah, there was absolutely no cameras. The cops were definitely not called.
All right.
And the only thing that ended up going down is I had to meet in the office. My parents had to go to the office, and that woman came to the school. And was in there, and I was just too young to be able to mentally like defend myself like I could now. But it was kind of like, boys, stop fighting at the bus stop, like bullshit.
Yeah, you weren't fighting.
I didn't do a damn. What are you talking about? So that was definitely one of the frustrating things about, I guess not bus stop, but to me is, as a kid. Not being able to like relay to adults.
Like
Things.
the real story.
You know, in to their defense, you know, I'm a big bullshitter now. I mean, there was probably so many times. I mean, how could they probably believe me with anything I said, right?
Right.
Like,
Well,
but-
I mean, at that point, I'm sure they believed, it's a serious situation.
Well, I remember, my parents kind of thinking like, I think their reaction was kind of like, okay, they didn't like the idea, they didn't like the woman doing that, but everybody was okay now, and that, it's still just, oh, kids, behave.
Right.
That's just back then. It felt like that was just the parents' default.
Yeah.
It's just if it was kind of too complicated, it's just listen to the adults, and we're the parents, and you just have to listen to us because of that. And it's like,
Yep.
okay, yeah, because you just can't come up with something logical. So, yep, great.
So
Yeah.
I gotta ask you one question. Are you done with the story? Because there's one part you
All right,
left
all
out.
right. Oh yeah, I knew it. But that one I knew pretty good. But I knew you'd have
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Right.
You'll probably remember it. But do you remember where that lady was on her way to?
Oh, a Bible study.
A Bible
That's
study.
right. That's unbelievable that you remember that, and that definitely triggered the memory of that. Yeah, a Bible study.
Yeah.
A Bible study. Oh, if you're listening out there, woman, I would love to have a nice, cordial conversation with you and talk about that incident that happened long ago, and just come to terms. And nah, it's but yeah, she's just lucky. I mean,
Or Brandon, if you happen to be listening, I'd like to hear your side of things here.
I wonder what that kid's last name was.
I think it was.
Really.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I would have never known that. I would have had to look through like yearbooks or
Yeah.
something.
Well, you could.
He's probably in yearbooks. Or,
I would
I've
think
got
so, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a hand. I don't have every one of my elementary yearbooks, but I have a handful of them.
Yeah, I lost all mine. I don't know what happened to
Oh
them.
shit!
But,
Wild.
yeah, that's crazy. And then,
Messed up my camera again.
oh, that's all right.
Oh well. This is high level. Oh.
And then do you remember when you told Dennis about it? We walked up to Dennis's garage and
About the hair pulling situation?
yeah.
No, but I would love to.
I don't remember the full thing, but I just remember you walked up and when you started, hey Dennis, guess what happened? And you started going through it, and then you said just right in front of Dennis, and you were fourth grade or whatever, and you're just like. Then this bitch pulled up to her, started ripping me away or something like that.
I said that?
Yeah, you just used the word bitch, and I remember Dennis just smirking and Wes just smirking.
Well, Dennis was like a homeboy back
Right,
then.
right.
He's cool. Which reminds me, I gotta reach out to him. I gotta.
Yeah, I wonder what
Sorry,
he's up to
Dennis.
these days.
You're probably not listening, but
Right.
yeah, I gotta. Yeah, I just. I got in touch with him a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say,
Yeah.
and went over to his place and everything like that, and he's doing his normal thing like always. But yeah, it's been too long now. So, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
Shout out to the Bob shirt that you got on, Bob Total Country shirt that you got.
Bob
from the State Fair.
106.1.
That's the
Listen
one
to
you got
that.
from the fair, right?
Mhm.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I think I'm gonna stop the recording now.
All
It's
right.
been a little story hour with Dave. Thanks for watching.
Have a good day, everyone.
KLXK would like to find out what Twin Cities children want for Christmas. We've set up the KLXK Classic Santa Wish Line for you to call 452-3287. 452-3287.